Okay, bonus live stream number 2. Let's see if anyone decides to join me live as these notifications are hitting your inbox. Let me get over to the post here. Get over here. Bonus live stream. Okay. All right. Hi, Francesca. I just love that you're always there. I know I can always count on you. It's going to be a sad day when you're not there, when you're not the first one there. Okay. Bonus live stream. I don't have an agenda for this, but it is, I'm on my computer a lot too. I get it. And I'm easily distracted. It is November 27th. It is November 27th. This workshop started when? When did this workshop start? The 7th. This workshop started almost 3 weeks ago. I know there are a few of you that started late, the holiday hit, now you're getting back into it. You're getting inundated with emails of all kinds of sales and shopping and all of that. So here we are, November 27th, and there are probably some of you who have not started the Vision Board Reboot, and or some of you who have watched maybe the first one or the second one, but have not taken action yet. And if you did listen to the first one, and even if you didn't, it doesn't matter, but the message in that is, now is the time to do the most important work that you can be doing in your business. I am telling you, this is the most important work that you can be doing in your business. And so those of you that have been all the way through it, have been implementing, have been in this book, have been utilizing it, I want you to get in here and leave comments for your peers, because this is a community. This is like everyone's here sort of at the same level. That's what's so like beautiful about the people who have signed up and who are interacting, and especially those of you that have upgraded to the inner circle. Like, we have a really beautiful group of people that are here, that think like you, that believe in very similar things that you do, that are incredibly supportive. And so I want those of you that have been through it, that have been in this book, that have been utilizing it, to leave some comments in the thread here about what it's done for you, so that you can show your peers just how important it is. So you're not just hearing from my point of view, because obviously I'm biased, but you're hearing from those that are actually getting results and things are changing in their business. And especially if you've been through this and you're utilizing this and you've gotten any results, I don't care if it's super tiny, I don't care if you got a free cup of coffee, I want to hear all the way up to your trip to Aruba to get your dream dog, which yes, is happening to someone in this group. But I want to hear what results you have gotten from this, and show your peers what's happening, so that you can show them how easy this really is once you tap into it. Let me say this, how simple it is once you tap into it. And the reason that it may appear like it's working so much more quickly or in bigger ways for other people than yourself, if you're sitting here going like, I just feel like it's not working, I just feel like, well, those people who came in here and just knew with conviction at their core that this is something that works, that came into it with a belief and with excitement and with conviction, not with an ounce of skepticism, not with an ounce of like, I don't know, but like came into it totally open-minded, went into it with a lot of fun, went into it just like without any judgment, those people have probably been the ones that have been getting the faster, rapid results. Also, they probably have been primed to get results in a different sort of way. And I'm saying this because I've been there myself, where it felt like the people around me were making big stuff happen, and I felt like I was doing all the same tasks. But this is all about being. And so if it appears like other people are ahead or making stuff happen and you're not, it might just be because that habit, that muscle of theirs has been active longer or more frequently than yours has. And it's like working out, right? If someone is or has been working out like 5 times a month and you haven't worked out at all, even though that person hasn't done it every day, they're a little bit more ahead. Or it's like if someone has been eating really healthy, but they haven't been working out, and then there's another person who hasn't been eating healthy and hasn't been working out. Well, potentially the person who has been at least, you know, eating healthy is probably going to have a leg up in working out and getting results much faster than the other person who has to work on 2 habits. So all of this is just habit. It's all just habit. And that can change relatively quickly if you stick to it with consistency and with repetition. And that's the most important part of this. So I bring this up because I don't want anyone to feel like they've missed out on anything because they haven't started. And I want you to look at this as an opportunity to reflect on, if I did sign up for this, which means if you signed up for this, there is a part of you that is ready to make the big shifts and the big changes that you know you want and need to make, or else you wouldn't have signed up for this. There is a part of you on some level that knows this is exactly what you need. There is a part of you, if you're here, that believes in these concepts of mindset first, be it first, and then you can have versus waiting. So the mere fact, as I said on call 1, that you're here means you're ready to shift and absolutely can shift as fast and as rapidly and whenever you want to. It's 100% a choice. So I would observe and ask yourself, if you haven't started yet and you're just now catching this live stream, or if you haven't gotten through them all, or if you watched everything but you didn't get into this book, take this as an opportunity to ask why. What happened? Where did your mind start to maybe get skeptical? Or where did your mind start to go, this isn't important for me? Or where did your mind start to go, this isn't a priority for me? Or the other stuff needs to happen before I do this? What sort of narratives and stories were you telling yourself to where you didn't keep track or keep up with the program or get active or start engaging? Where did your mind go? What are the narratives and the stories? So if there's anything that you walk away with, even if you don't create this, it is super helpful to use this as sort of a barometer to check in with yourself to see what was running through my mind as I went through this. Because just observing yourself and sort of stepping outside of yourself to witness how you interacted with this content, how you interacted with making it a priority, how you interacted with making time for it to watch the videos, how you interacted with your thoughts on getting creative and putting things out of magazines. Like, watching what happened in and of itself is pure gold. Such gold for yourself. At the least, it's going to tell you what are some habitual thought patterns. And at the least, beyond that, if you can get a hold of what those habitual thought patterns are, I would venture to guess that those thought patterns are at play in other areas of your life. So yes, this was about creating this book here, which is what I call a primer book, but it is also about taking a moment to step back and witness how you've been interacting within this program and ask yourself, okay, where do I want to make some shifts? Where do I need to change some habitual thought patterns and habitual behavioral patterns? And why am I not allowing myself to go there? Because as I said before, if you are here and you signed up for this workshop, there is a part of you that is absolutely ready to make the shift that you know is necessary to really grow to the place that you want to grow to. And there might be some of you that are stuck. There might be some of you that have just hit a ceiling. There might be some of you that you just really want to keep up the momentum and growth phase, right? And because you're growing so rapidly, you want to learn how to step into a place where you can do and grow at a bigger level. Everyone is looking to go forward, right, and progress. Everyone's at different places, but that doesn't mean that whatever happened in the past leading up to this moment has to be whatever happens in the future. Not at all. Not even close. So we talked about in the very, very first live stream, and I would really recommend, if you have been through everything, go back and listen to the first live stream again, because if you really took this seriously and did some of the identity work that was a part of this, you have already shifted on an internal level, and things happen so quickly. Things can be ingrained in us just as quickly as we lose things. Like, it can be ingrained so much faster than you think that you might not even realize how quickly you've shifted and now it's your default. You know, like, it could happen that fast. So I would go back and listen to the first one, because you're going to catch some things that you didn't pick up on the first time that will be helpful in keeping up the momentum. Because a lot of times what I see at this point is people get through this, they do this, they have some results, and then they crash. So like, they get momentum, they have these breakthroughs, they're getting results, and then it's boom, it's down here. And then they're like, what's going on? What did I do? Right? And they go to try to figure it out. And I did this for a long time, cycled through over and over and over, you know, breakthrough, breakthrough, results, results, momentum, results, and then everything stops. And then down here, what happened? Then figure it out and get, oh, breakthrough. And then back up here, momentum, momentum, results, and then crash, everything stops. And it's like, what happened? And then look for the breakthrough, figure it out, and then breakthrough, okay, like over and over and over and over. So if you are one of those people, you are absolutely in the right place. And there is something that's going on and could happen if you've been through it and you've been doing all this stuff. If you hit a crashing point, if all of a sudden it feels like everything stopped, there is definitely another narrative in there that's at play that is a great opportunity right now to completely squash. I heard a really awesome quote yesterday that was not mine, that I read online, and it was something to the effect of like, you're jumping in deep water and swimming back to safe, shallow water. You're jumping into the deep end and then swimming back to safe water. Go deeper, swim further into the deep water. And that's what's happening in that cycle is like, okay, you get all these results, you get some momentum, right? You jump off into the deep end. You're ready to embrace the unknown. You're ready to open your mind. You're ready to do these things. And then it's like your system freaks out a little bit. And then you start swimming back to the safe waters and you start retreating back to some of those old habits, right? Which is all safety. And I talked all about that in the first and second live stream, right? Where I was like, all of this boils back to making it safe. So now is not the time, you guys, to coast. I know a lot of you have had some really awesome results from this because you've been sending me messages. And again, please, for your peers, if you could post anything that you got out of this, anything you've manifested, anything that's shown up, anything you've actualized, even if I've called you or we talked about it before, if you could help me make a list on this bonus impromptu live stream thread, I would love to hear what you have gotten out of this workshop. But now is not the time to coast. Okay, because you've got some momentum going, and please take my word for it, because I did this and sometimes catch myself still doing it. When things are going well and you finally feel like you're hitting a stride and you're getting results, if it's been a while since you felt that flow, it can be really easy to just sit back and relish in it, right? And just go, like I don't have to fight it. I can just take a break. But if you do that, you're going to come crashing down most likely. So now is not the time to stop. Now is the time to channel the momentum and fight for what you have to keep it. Because the reality is, as much as we fight to have something, we have to fight to keep it. And fighting doesn't mean it has to be a struggle by any sort of means, but it does mean you have to continue to keep up the identity. And if you coasting is a reflection of like, coasting is another inner being that's going to showcase in your external reality. So if everything stops or if everything feels like it comes to a halt, remember that everything out here is a reflection of what's in here. And a lot of times it's because we got to a place where we felt like we could breathe again. And I get it. You want to breathe, but I fear you're going to sort of stall things up and sabotage, and things are going to come to a halt. You at least have a process, right? To get to the part of what goes on there, for those of you that are getting results, right, which is part of the reason I wanted to check in here, is like, don't stop now. But those of you that are getting results, I wanted to hopefully cut this off before this happens to anyone. But if this is happening, it's another great opportunity to finally squash this pattern once and for all. So who do you need to be internally as of your identity to be the type of person? What type of person do you need to be who continues the results sustainably? What type of person do you need to be who doesn't have a roller coaster like this, where like you're high and then it comes down, and then you're high again and then it doesn't, and then it comes down? What needs to happen internally as part of your identity to make sure that you can just have a consistent growth pattern and you're just growing and increasing? To be a person of increase, what is that going to look like for you? And you guys know enough by now that I want you guys to sit with that. And that looks slightly different for every single person. So there's that. So it's not too late to start. Now is not the time to coast. For those of you that have been through it, stick with it. Please stick with it. Go back and watch the videos again. And then that brings me to my next point here, which is You have reminder, you have a choice now, right? You have a choice now with what you do with your access here on Patreon. And I've been very vocal about, you paid for access to the workshop. You will have to make a decision once this workshop is over as to what you want to do. If you don't do anything in your Patreon account here, you're going to get charged $22 for the month, and you will continue to have access to all of the Vision Board Reboot products, like all the live streams. So if you don't do anything, you just let that hit, which will hit like December 1st, it hits on the 1st of the month, then you will just continue to have access however long you want it. If you cancel, just go to your account. If you're done, you got everything, you feel good, you're ready to go, you don't feel like you need any more support, go up to your account and make sure to cancel it out, because you will get dinged on December 1st and I can't do anything about it. And I've given you guys a lot of reminders about it because, again, I'm not here to like swindle anyone into anything. So I'm doing my due diligence to make sure you guys get reminders. So there's that. And the third thing is, I would really invite you, because now is not the time to stop, to make a $10 upgrade to the Inner Circle tier, which is $33 a month, where you can get more access to other stuff ongoing, including our monthly lightning coaching call, where I take your questions live for an hour. You get access to me in that way every month, as well as journal prompts, which I'm getting out for this month, don't worry, because I haven't posted those yet, as well as the book club access, so all the book club live streams, which are very heavily related to all of these concepts that we're talking about, as well as any sort of back-end impromptu sort of, I try to do at least 1 or 2 videos of like my process or training or automatic writing downloads that I got, like anything like that, as well as whatever else I want to pop up in my Inner Circle, right? So 3 options: don't do anything and just continue to have access, cancel, or I invite you to upgrade to your Inner Circle. And on top of that, here's the other thing. I still have 4 slots open at a discount for the ongoing one-on-one support. So if you really want to go at this, if you can already sense you shifting back into old habits and you want to break this pattern once and for all, and when you sit and you think about this at night, or you think about it tomorrow and you think about everything you've learned, and you're feeling that intuitive pull, like, I know myself, I've tried to solve this myself, I'm frustrated with this pattern, I'm frustrated with this behavior, you have no idea what can happen in 3 hours of time together. You have no idea. So if you felt like you got some major ahas in a group setting with this, imagine what we can do one-on-one when I have access to you to read your energy and ask questions and get clear on what's going on and help you point out exactly what's in your way, how to remove those very quickly, which is get light, and then how to take flight and set up your business, reorganize it, perhaps take a look at your business model, shift things around so you can be in a place where you are really thriving, and you're feeling like you've got that momentum in a way that feels good and not heavy. So I have 4 coaching slots available. And if you're the type of person that does believe in coaching and is looking for the right kind of coach who can really see you, I mean really see you. If you are looking for the kind of coach that can really understand you and will take the time to see you in all of your truth and your highest potential, happens to be one of the things that I excel at, then you're gonna wanna sit down with me one-on-one, because I'm telling you, when you're in the session with me and afterwards, you're gonna be like, this is exactly what I needed, which is what practically every client says to me. This is exactly what I needed, and why didn't I do this sooner? Because I could have saved myself potentially thousands of dollars and a ton of time and energy, okay? So 4 slots available that are at a $500 discount. You can either spend the full day with me, we can really go after it, or we can do the 3-hour the 3-hour shift, which we get a lot done in 3 hours. So some of you that booked it, that got the discount, you're, how many of you are scheduled this week? 3 of you were scheduled this week. I had 1 this morning and we're working fast. So I'm catching up with some of you in the program this week. So that is all there available to you. And the other thing that I will say about that, this is not a sale, but this is truth, is that in the past few weeks, I have been in rapid shifts of my own and have hired a team out of New York who is now taking over everything and helping me get to that next level. So everything as far as, well, branding in general, like all of that is being refined and upgraded and delegated, and pricing models are changing. So the full day VIP access to me is not going to ever be remotely at that price ever again, starting January 1. So if you want it, that is thousands of dollars cheaper than it will be at come January 1. So not a scarcity tactic, that is truth. And if you're wanting in and you're feeling like right on the edge and you want to save some money, just know it's going up starting then, as well as everything else. And I'm super excited to like show you guys everything. It's going to probably take another 30 to 40 days because we have a lot going on with everything that's being built, but I'm super, super, super excited. Francesca says, I've been working through a lot of blocks to become more decisive in my business and life. The Premier Book has been such a great way for me to practice knowing what I want. I feel like I'm finally starting to break through to something. I was thinking about offering a coaching service in my business. Someone messaged me out of the blue this morning and asked for the specific service I was thinking of offering, and I never said anything about it to anyone. It was a total coincidence. Well, there's no coincidences. So I finally manifested something. There will be more momentum from me moving forward. I refuse to coast. There we go. Not a coincidence. I had the same thing happen to me. So I was on the phone with the New York team and I was talking to them about this vision board workshop. And I was saying how because this is the first time that I've run it. By the way, I'm going to be running it again in January online. So tell your friends, and it will be slightly more, not a lot, but it's going to cost more money. So you guys got in at a good price. Still going to be ridiculously cheap, but I'm going to run it again in January. But I was saying to the team, when I was on the phone with them, I was saying, I think that there's an opportunity to take this to groups, like existing groups, bring this workshop in a live format in like other people's retreats or other people's programs or other people's conferences. And I said, I think there's something there that we should sit down and sort of brainstorm and explore. And I am not kidding you. As that came out of my mouth, at some point within the next 20 minutes, I got a Facebook message from a woman who I am now meeting with tomorrow, who reached out because she heard someone else talking about it and said, we were talking about meeting, and then, oh, P.S., I really want to talk about bringing your vision board reboot into my wellness workshop retreat or whatever it was, some retreat. I want you to come in. And I was like, see how fast the universe works? If you put it out there and you say it, it can literally happen. Words can become things almost immediately. That was within 20 minutes of me speaking it. So that's how it can work. That's how it can work for you guys. It can really be that simple, but you gotta stay tapped into it. You can't coast. People find the people they need. It's so magical. And I don't know if I talked about this on these live streams. It's worth repeating, but there are a lot of like, I know this for myself, but I also know this for other clients. And I think I was telling you guys about one particular woman who did the VIP day with me. She was saying how she kept getting all these prompts, like my name kept showing up in her world. Like she heard me on a podcast interview, like randomly, and then someone mentioned my name, and then she saw something pop up in her feed, and she never saw me like, so all within like a few weeks, she kept getting all these Shauna prompts, which I'm like, that's awesome. I didn't have anything to do with that. Well, that's not true. I lined up energetically, right? I'm in my space, I'm in my being, I'm doing what I do, and the universe is taking care of it. And I know the universe is lining stuff up, putting prompts in people's worlds like that to attune to me and send me an inquiry or whatever it is, right? And those clients who are open-eared and open-eyed, who recognize they're getting prompted and they're seeing these messages pop up over and over and over, and who then pay attention because they trust their intuition and they keep coming back to trust their intuition, which those tend to be the most successful business owners, take action on that. And those are the people who I know, and those are the people that I want to work with, who hear those prompts and it keeps coming up and they hear that little tickle of like, I need to reach out to her, I need to reach out to her, right? And then they take action on that. And when you take action on prompts that you get like that in your world, you make stuff happen and are rewarded for that because it's a habit. And if you are in the habit of listening to your intuition, which is your most powerful business tool, even if it doesn't make logical sense at all to follow that hunch, but it keeps showing up, when you follow that and then it works out, you're training that part of your brain neurologically, but also the subconscious and also your belief system to go, when I trust my intuition and I take risks or I take leaps of faith, it pays off. So that in and of itself has become a habit. And that seems to be the commonality between the clients that work with me is like, they take risks like crazy, right? Like a lot of them like you know, they're like, I don't even care. I took out another credit card with 0 interest. So there's like, literally, it's like getting a loan, but like without any interest. They're like, to pay for this because I know at my core that this is what's going to make me more money. So it's kind of like, you need to think about it. If you were absolute, and this is anything that you have a hunch on in your business or life, if you knew for absolute certainty, that that thing that you're getting a hunch or an intuitive push on, that thing would get you what you want, you would have absolutely no problem taking that leap of faith, because it's not a leap of faith, right? At that point, if you 100% knew, you would be like, yeah, then here we go. Like whatever I need to do it, I'm going to do it. Unfortunately, we don't have that 100% certainty. We can't, which is why it's called faith, and it's intuition, and it's trusting in the unknown. But the most successful business owners who operate from that place and have well-trained that muscle to understand that when they follow their intuition, they do have this very convicted faith where they make that knowing a part of their being. And then therefore, because they have so much conviction in that knowing, they make it a want, which is a desire, and then it's an expectation. And then when they make it an expectation energetically, it just happens. And so it's sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy. No, I can't sit here and tell you with 100% certainty, but when you make something energetically a desire, which turns into an expectation, and you're that convicted about it, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, and things can happen. Hola, Jenny Fichtel. I think that's all that I wanted to come on here and say. It's just, let me recap real quick. Okay, you're not too late. You're not too late. If you're listening to this and you've been through this and you've made some stuff happen, please comment in the comments, in those that are watching the recording, please share with your peers what you have learned so that they can not only take my word from it, but they can see what you're doing. Because guess what? Like, the more that we give, right, the more we receive. So it is really important for your receiving to show up here and tell your peers, encourage them just like I'm encouraging them to, if you genuinely believe in it and if you got results in it, share with them how important this has been to you, what changes have happened in the short amount of time in your life since being in this workshop, so that you can help encourage the peers that are on here that it is not too late. It is not too late if they haven't started. It is not too late if they've only gotten through one live stream. There's nothing you're missing. You missed the live component, but you can still leave comments. There's nothing you're missing. This is the most important work you can be doing. This is the most important work that you can be doing right now. And especially with the holidays right around the corner, if you really want to get after this, there is nothing like the holidays for some of us that can be ultra triggering, which is full of all kinds of gems to reclaim power from, right? So this is a perfect time, especially in the time where there is, some of us look at the holidays. I know I'm like rambling, but I told you guys I had no idea where this live stream was going. But I used to view, like, right after Thanksgiving, basically through the holidays, my interpretation of that entire month, hey Leah, my entire interpretation of that whole month is, oh my gosh, so much money. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff to spend on. Oh my gosh, it was very negative, very, very negative. And all that is interpretation, right? And so I would venture to guess, when you think of the holidays from a financial viewpoint, where are you at? Do you think negatively or do you think positively? Do you look around and go, gosh, there's so much to spend on? Do you say to yourself, oh, it's going to be slow season, no one buys anything right now? Has that been your pattern? And I know for me, that was my pattern, and I never questioned it. I just made my bed and laid in it. Like, I just was like, oh, December's slow, no one buys anything, no one invests in anything, right? Or this is now a moment to create a different interpretation of, you know what? This is a season of spending and financial magic. Like, people are spending. People are in a spending mood right now, right? And just because they're spending perhaps in personal ways, it gets people in the mood to also spend in professional ways. And so if you take a positive interpretation and you're a business owner and you're caught in a funk of like, every December slow for me, no one's going to be buying anything from me because this is the pattern every year, that's what you're getting because you're the one setting that pattern. So now is the time, this holiday season, to take a look at what is your view about the holidays as it relates to money for you, if anything, and what can you reclaim here so that you can like bust this habit once and for all starting now. So what interpretation do you want to have about the holiday season and money and how money is received from you from today moving forward? There is so much during this holiday season to reclaim here. So much. It can be slightly annoying and challenging and frustrating, but there is so much that you can shift in the next 40 days if you really want to get after it. Okay? Okay, I think that's all I have to say. Oh, I was recapping. I was recapping. Okay, so it's not too late. It is not too late to start. Please, please, please do not go, I missed it, you know, exit out. If you signed up for this, on some level, you know you need it. Okay, so like look at your tendency to want to just bail because you think it's too late, and ask yourself, like truly ask yourself, like, wait, like this is what I always do, or maybe, you know, like, is this what I always do? Or where does this pattern of bailing show up in other places? And why am I doing that? And why don't I change that starting now, right? And if anything, even if you don't get in this, again, it's all about looking at yourself from an observer standpoint to get clear on what's going on in your system. Leah says, I've been cutting out things every day and tonight I'm going to start pasting. I'm so excited about it. Oh, good, good, good. Money is channeled out of peace and happiness. And so even if, you know, and this is so multifaceted in so many ways, but the fact that this makes people really excited and happy when they're in this book, that is the best place to operate from in every way possible, from your relationships to making money to your clients. Think about it. When you're at peace and you're happy, what are the other synonymous behaviors that are at play with you? You're adventurous. Maybe you're more like going with the flow. You're not so much in control mode. There's not rigidity there. Like think about those moments when you're in peace and happiness. And think about if you could make that your place that you operate from, like your default place that you operate from. Money is created out of peace and happiness. It is. And because it's so energetic, people want to spend on peace and happiness, which emanates off of people. So especially as a business provider. And then think about the times where, you know, you do have a bad day, but you make that bad day, you take that bad day personally, right? You can be sad, but not be a sad person. Unfortunately, and I did this for a long time, if I had a bad day or if I was sad, I would take it very personally and make it part of my character. And so if I had a bad day, it would be, I'm a person who has bad days. And I would make it, I would have an interpretation about something out here about my own character, which is why this isn't about being perfect. This is about having peace and serenity and peace and happiness. And you can have peace and happiness and joy and still have bad days. It's not an either or. You can have an internal peace and happiness, but still have a bad day, but still feel sad. But at your core, you have peace and happiness, right? And that's where money and everything can come out of and needs to come out of. So think about it when you do have a bad day and you take it personally and you make an interpretation about that. Think about how that spirals like very quickly, right? And then all of a sudden you're like, I don't have momentum. And then all of a sudden you're questioning everything. And then all of a sudden you're like, should I even be doing this? And then something happens with money, right? Or the car breaks down, and then a fight happens with your partner or a friend, or like things just start to spiral, right? And the moment you can get back to peace and happiness, it's like things sort of like spark up again, right? So that was another tangent. I'm not even going to try to recap, you guys. It's not working. So that's it. 4 slots available for one-on-one coaching. They have to be used by the end of the year because January 1, everything's changing just in my business. And 4 slots for the discount. There's a discount, the $500 discount. If it's been tickling at you, I'm telling you, you're going to get done with the session. As much of a financial leap as you might think it is, you're going to get done with it and you're going to be like, I knew this is what I needed. I hear it every single time, you guys. So, and you need to make a decision about what you're doing with your account. This will probably be one of my last reminders. I'll probably send a text reminder. Today's the 27th. So you have through Friday the 30th to decide, are you going to leave your account at the $22? Are you going to cancel out, or are you going to join the inner circle and upgrade for $10 more? Okay, last reminder. If you leave it because you forget to upgrade, you can upgrade at any time. Just if you leave it, you'll be charged on December 1st, and then you can go in there and just pay the extra $10 to get right up at any moment. You don't have to upgrade before December 1st, but if you know you're going to cancel your account, you've got to do that by close of business Friday, or you'll get dinged again, okay? Any questions for me? Anything you want to say to me? You guys are my inaugural reboot, vision board reboot members. Everyone on this list. I want to see every single person on this list at least start the program. At least start the first live stream. I want to see every single person on this list. I just like, I so badly like want everyone to hear the messages in this program because it can literally save you. I can't, I mean, it doesn't, this just is so doesn't, this is so important for me for people to have this message because I see unnecessary struggle and I'm projecting totally because I went through so much. It's not unnecessary because it's what makes me a really good coach and I went through it so that you guys don't have to, frankly. So I have a lot of things that I have garnered out of it from my professional career, but that doesn't mean that you need to do this because you have a business and it's not to be stuck in the way that you might be stuck. That's not where you need to be spending your energy is spinning your wheels. You have more important things to do. You're so freaking talented, all of you, that you need to be in your zone of genius. So I consider it my life mission to like get you guys into the place that you need to be to get the things that you want in your life. Like my life's mission is to transform people and I do it fast. We work fast. So I want every single person participating in this reboot. It's not too late. Any questions for me? Any questions for me? Also, can I just say that I cooked my first turkey ever. If you were on the book club live stream last night, I already talked about this, so you're gonna hear it again. But we cater every year because I don't cook except for like buttered noodles and toast occasionally. And we cater the turkey and a couple of sides, and then we cook some of the sides, meaning my great uncle cooks most of the sides. And I do the dishes, which I'm happy to do. And I didn't confirm the catering order, which is not something that I do, not something that happens in my life. Like, I mean, that's a big thing to basically not follow through on. And I got distracted and I put in the order when I was like, I think when we were in the middle of this program and I must not have hit the finalize button. And so I had made an awesome apple pie on Wednesday and it was like 6:30, 7 o'clock. I'm sitting on the couch and it just hits me like a light bulb, like a light switch. All of a sudden it was like, oh, I don't think I got a confirmation email. So I'm like digging all in my email. I'm getting it like on my computer. I'm calling Whole Foods and they're like, no, we don't see an order. And I'm like, oh my God, I ruined Thanksgiving. And of course, then I got online and I called every single place that does any sort of Thanksgiving catering, which everything needed to be in, of course, like a week before. And of course, no one has anything. Like, no, you have to cook turkeys like that in mass, like way in advance. So no one's got anything. So I am like literally Googling turkeys for dummies because I had never made a turkey before. I'm Googling emergency lost the turkey before Thanksgiving, like anything possible that would give me the quickest and easiest answer. And went to Whole Foods anyways, because they said they had fresh turkeys, which like, I didn't even know what that meant. I was like, fresh turkeys, does that mean that like I can take it home and put it in the oven? Does that mean that it's frozen? Does that mean like, I don't even know what that means. So I got to Whole Foods. I asked the checkout lady when I grabbed this turkey out of this bin, I was like, is this considered frozen or is this considered refrigerated? Like, I don't even know. Like, do I need to defrost this? Am I just screwed? She goes, well, it's not exactly frozen. And I was like, okay, I'll figure it out. So took it home. By now it's like 8:30, 9 o'clock. My husband comes in at 10 o'clock. I'm in the kitchen with this like look on my face. He sees me with my hand inside this like defrosted turkey in the sink, trying to pull out all of the stuff with my phone set up on a YouTube video, the like 28th YouTube video that I watched of like how to get all the stuff out of the middle of the turkey. And he's like, what are you doing? And he got mad at me for a split second. He's like, what are you doing? We had a good thing going with the catering. I'm like, I forgot to put in the order. He's like, oh, you're scrambling right now? And I'm like, I'm totally scrambling right now. So he helped me dig the remaining stuff out of the inside of the turkey, which is that little bag of like whatever that is, the giblets, is that what they call it? Like I couldn't find that for at least 20 minutes. And I know it's just like should be in there, but I could not find that stupid bag. And so like I found that, threw it all away, cooked it. was up till 3 in the morning because when it came out, I let it cool, but then I got all paranoid that I couldn't put it in the whole thing. So then the next day we reheated it, full bird, reheated it in the oven, and it was perfect. It was perfect, and it tasted so good, and I am so freaking proud of myself, you guys, because you have no idea the lack of talent in cooking that is over here. And so I feel like I put my big girl panties on and made it freaking happen, and it was delicious. Like, I didn't ruin it. Wasn't even dried out. Wasn't even dried out. So of course now I'm like, I'm going to make a turkey every year. I'm a pro now, which probably won't happen. I will probably be catering it next year if I remember to put the catering order in. So that was my exciting Thanksgiving story. And I feel like some part of me when that happened, I was like, you know what? Of course this happened. Of course this happened. Like, this is another way for me to validate that when things go wrong, I fix it, figure it out. I put my big girl panties on and I cook the damn turkey, even if it keeps me up till 3 in the morning. And it turns out delicious because I'm a badass. And so it felt good to like have that moment and be like, no, the Shauna that I know is a fixer, and she doesn't give up in moments where it's chaotic. And if something goes wrong, you calmly figure it out, and you get on YouTube if you have to, and you just make it and you make it happen, right? Jenny says, this whole process has taught me that I really wasn't in the habit of desiring or really wanting in life. That's very common, which totally shocked me because I thought I was an A-okay on that end. Whether I didn't really believe it could happen or believe I was worthy deserving of it. Yeah, it's been so eye-opening catching the different thought patterns and limiting beliefs that creep up. Now, every time I open my primer book, I get the crazy, wicked, good feeling that it's real, and I feel myself stepping into the identity more and more. Stoked to go through all the live streams again. I'm putting it in my planner to go through them all every month for reinforcements and reminders. That is awesome. And good. Like, that's powerful right now there to like listen to them every month. You guys, it's really common, and you're not, you're not weird at all, or like you're not the weird one out to be a person who is not in a habit or to have realized that you've stopped wanting in life or have only had an inkling of wanting in life. And for most people, it's really shocking. They're in the book club, we're doing Think and Grow Rich right now, and it speaks specifically to that, where I forget how he put it. We just went over it last night, but I forget. But it was talking about like desiring has to be used. That's the whole point of this book. Like, it has to be used. It's a muscle. If you don't use it, you fall into complacency. And if you're into complacency of wanting, then no, you're not going to receive much. You're not going to get much because that's where you're at internally. And that's sort of, you've made that sort of like a leading value, is complacency, which is just because it hasn't been used. And so I'm glad Jenny brought that up, because that comment right there is helping a lot of people, I was there too. And a lot of you that have been in business for a long time, you know, I started my business not knowing a single soul. I moved to a brand new place where I didn't know anyone, except for my brother who's in the Air Force, and they moved. So, I mean, I grew a service-based business that was a consulting practice at 22 years old, which, you know, I look back now and I'm like, I'm sure people were looking at me and going, what is this 22-year-old going to teach me? But I didn't know any better. I was ignorant. Not knowing anyone, right? Ground up, had to build this company in a very new niche industry, image consulting, which if I was in Atlanta or New York, people knew what that was, not in Charleston. So that was a big risk. And frankly, you know, got so good at streamlining and cutting costs and living very minimally. And I mean, I was broke. I was building a business. I was broke, you know, $7 to my name at certain points, getting really good at playing the withdrawal game of overdraft fees for the sake of, like, I knew I could overdraft like $300 and only get dinged with a $25 overdraft fee because I needed that money. Like, I would play that game. And I got really good at justifying why I didn't need to spend money, to the point, say hello to Henry Van Bogart, to the point that when I did have money coming in my business, I was so freaking afraid to spend it. I was so afraid to spend it. And it caused a lot of conflict with Justin and I were dating at the time. And like, we would go to the outlets because I didn't shop for years. And I wouldn't allow myself to want anything. I wouldn't allow myself to want anything except like keep my eye on my business, which honestly is probably what hung me up longer than I needed to. And we would go to the outlets and we would be shopping, and I would have like, not a panic attack, but I had so much anxiety about spending money on myself that Justin would literally have to force me to buy something, like to buy a shirt for myself or to buy the belt that I wanted or whatever. And I was out of the habit. I got so out of the habit. And not only was I out of the habit, I was making the best of it. I was justifying that, oh, you know, I'm just super thrifty. I'm just super frugal. And then I put that up on a pedestal, which there's a time and a place for that. I'm not saying that there's anything per se wrong with that, but I was justifying it by making the best of the situation, which was really just me not wanting to want anymore because it was just out of practice. So that comment right there, Jenny, helped a lot of people. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, I can't believe you guys hung with me here. I told you I had no idea where this is going. Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go before I get on another tangent, and I think my cat needs fed and needs attention because he's high maintenance. So I love you guys. Let me know how I can help. Keep going. Don't coast. Let me know if you want one of those coaching sessions. You know where to find me. You can find me everywhere. I hope to see you all in the inner circle, and I'm gonna get journal prompts out for the inner circle by the end of the week. Okay? All right, much love. See ya.